Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim yasam tato jayam mudiraye. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the Supreme, unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamalini Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangri. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granth-raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the topmost crest jewel of all the holy scriptures. And we are reading Canto 8, Chapter 6, entitled The Demigods and the Demons Declare a Truce, or a Peace Pact. So, in the last few verses, we were discussing that how Indra approached King Bali Maharaj, and Bali also agreed that yes, we will. The negotiations were successful, and then finally, what they did, let's see. They arranged a big enterprise because it was no joke to churn the nectar or to churn the ocean to produce the nectar. So the plan was proposed by Indra as per the direction of the Supreme Lord, and King Bali, who was the king of the demons, agreed to the proposal. So let's delve in this nectar of churning of the nectar pastime. Text number 33 onwards. Tataste mandaragirim ujasot patya drumadha nadanta udadhim ninyuh shaktaha parigha bhavaha. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, with great strength, the demons and the demigods, who were all very powerful and who had long, stout arms, uprooted Mandara mountain, crying very loudly, they brought it toward the ocean of milk. So, very, very nice verse, which shows that yes, demigods are powerful and demons are also powerful. They all with their strength uprooted the Mandara mountain. And the word used is here, crying very loudly. In short, it was not like an easy task for them. When Kṛṣṇa lifts the mountain, Giri Govardhan, it's not that he's crying and he's holding it for 7 days, 7 nights without any, even like a bit of, what do you say? Any bit of discomfort, right?
Child.
Yes, like a child picks up a mushroom or a toy. It's like play. But here the demons and the demigods all together with great strength, with great effort, somehow they brought it together. It was no one person's task. And they have to use both of their arms, and not just one demigod's or one demon's arm. They were multiple in number. They had to be discussed in the previous verse that they had to arrange a whole enterprise. That means who will do what, who will do, like sometimes in material world we have this experience that sometimes we have to lift a heavy object, let's say move a car or push a car. Sometimes in India we may have experienced that it's not that one person does it. We need an enterprise. Okay, you move the steering, you move the left side, you move the right side, you push from the back, and then we will be able to move it. But Krishna, little finger. So that again shows that how our strength or even demigods or demon strength is limited, but Krishna's strength is unlimited. That's one of the six opulences of Supreme Lord. Any other comments or questions anyone has in this quite straightforward verse? So they have moved the mountain. Let's see what happens. So it's a fresh week, and yeah, anyone would like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Text 34. Text 34. Hare Krishna devotees. Dhura Bharodhavaha Sarantha Shakra Vairochandadhaya Aparyayantastam Bodhum Vivasha Vijahu Pathai. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Because of conveying the great mountains for a long distance, King Indra, Maharaja Bali, and other demigods and demons became fatigued, being unable to carry the mountain. They left it on the way. Prabhuji, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rakesh Prabhu, for reading. So again shows that their strength is limited. It's not unlimited compared to Krishna's strength or the Supreme Lord's strength. So what's happening here? First of all, there were a lot of demons and a lot of demigods. With all their strength, they somehow got the Mandara mountain. They carried some distance and then they fainted. It said, oh, they were so fatigued that they could not carry it anymore, and then they left it on the way. Oh, this is beyond our scope. Like how a lot of people came when Mata Sita was about, and the Swayamvara. A lot of people tried to lift. They could not even move it, what to speak of lifting it. It is said that Shiv Dhanush, 10,000 Kshatriya Yodhas would pick it up, and it would require 10,000 Kshatriya Yodhas to move it a few inches. Like sometimes you may have experienced this. When it's a heavy load, we can't carry the whole distance. So we move like 10 feet and then take a pause. And then move another 10 feet and take a pause. So practically they moved some distance, long distance because there were a lot, and then tired, gone, fatigue. So let's see what happened. It's a nice sweet pastime here. They kind of left the giri, the Mandara giri on their way. Can't carry anymore. Let's see what happens next. Umesh Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to everyone. Text number 35. Nipatansya giristatra bahuna maradanavan churnayamasa mahata bharena kanakachalah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The mountain known as Mandara, which was extremely heavy, being made of gold, fell and smashed many demigods and demons. Purport: by constitution, gold is heavier than stone, since Mandara mountain was made of gold and was therefore heavier than stone. The demigods and demons could not properly carry it to the ocean of milk. So back to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So what is heavier, 1 kilogram of iron or 1 kilogram of gold? What's heavy?
I think gold.
Okay. If they're both 1 kilogram, they are equal, but I understood. But the point here is the density is high. Even the same volume of gold would be heavier than the same volume of iron. That's the point here. By constitution, gold is heavier. So it was a golden mountain. It was not iron mountain, or it was not some dirt mountain. It was a gold mountain, and it was very heavy. So what happened? Now it's like shaking. They're fatigued. It's shaking, and many demigods, and as it fell down, they were smashed. Someone's hand was in between, someone's leg was in between, so they could not properly carry. It is so heavy. How much, the Lord is carrying all these universes, right? Ananta Shesha, on his Ananta Shesha, all these universes are there, the whole planetary system. So it again just reminds us that we are Anu. Even the demigods are also Anu. Even Brahmaji said in his prayer, we are like a fire particles. So again and again, it shows that even demigods or demons, their strength, who is the source of their strength? Kṛṣṇa. And their strength is not unlimited. Their strength is also limited. It's finite. It may be more. For example, a rich person in this world like Jeff Bezos, he may have millions or trillions or billions of dollars. I don't know what the number is, but it is finite. It is not infinite compared to Kṛṣṇa's wealth or Kṛṣṇa's strength or Kṛṣṇa's fame. Okay, shall we move on? Any other comments or questions on this one? Ready? Okay, a few Matajis can read. Nandini Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu Dandavat Pranam devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 36. Tams tatha bhagna manaso bhagna bahuru kandharan vidnyaya bhagavan statra babuva garuda dhvaja. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The demigods and demons were frustrated and disheartened. Their arms, thighs, and shoulders were broken. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who knows everything, appeared there on the back of his carrier, Garuda. So here, we can really relate that how we get frustrated, disheartened when the efforts don't pay off, and demigods and demons are very, very powerful compared to us, but nonetheless, nobody is Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are just like us human beings. They are getting frustrated. Their thighs and shoulders are broken. So then, mercifully, Kṛṣṇa, who is omniscient, who knows everything, he appeared and on the back of his carrier, Garuda. And this Kṛṣṇa is we are reading the pastimes of Lord Ajita, I believe. So sixth Manvantara incarnation. So he appeared on his carrier Garuda, just like Lord Hari appeared on his carrier Garuda. Thank you. Dhanyavads.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, next verse, 37.
Text 37. Giripata vinishpishtan vilokya maradanavan ikshaya jivayamasa nirjaran nivrananyatha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Observing that most of the demons and the demigods had been crushed by the falling of the mountain, the Lord glanced over them and brought them back to life. Thus they became free from grief, and they even had no bruises on their bodies.
So beautiful. Lord's glance is so powerful. Can there any other person who can just bring, the dead people to life by their glance? No one can do that. And Krishna has done that multiple times. Therefore, Mata Uttara says, Pahi pahi mahayogin deva deva jagatpate nanyam tvad abhayam pashe yatra mrityu parasparam. Yatra mrityu parasparam. Jab mrityu ke amne samne. When death is face to face, then no one else can save. She didn't reach out to the Pandavas who were very powerful. Right? They had recently won the war. But she reached out to, same with Kunti Mata or Draupadi Mata, all these great women, devotees, they knew that very well Krishna's strength, Krishna's power. So the Lord, just by their glance, their legs, their broken arms or thighs, or some were half dead, full dead, brought them back to their lives. It's not that he did some first aid. Okay, you take first aid, or you put a broken arm in a sling, like you go to a doctor and he may put some bandage, what to speak, and then there is post treatments and physiotherapy, and right, all those things are there. There were no even bruises also. They had no bruises on their body, not even the bruises were there. And they were free from grief. That's the beauty, that's the merciful glance of the Supreme Lord. So we are also, suffering so much. Sometimes our suffering could be, here the demigods and demons had bodily suffering, but we know the three types of suffering: Adi Bhautik, Adi Atmik, Adi Daivik. So what is the solace? Krishna's merciful glance is the real solace, is the real shelter. Krishna Katha, Krishna's holy name, that can only relieve us from the suffering of the material world. Either it is mental suffering, emotional suffering, bodily suffering, relationship suffering, any kind of suffering, diseases, problems, pandemics. This is the real vaccine for the suffering of the material world. So, Krishna's glance. When the Lord glanced, free from grief, Nashta Moha, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. All the impurities, all the diseases, all the suffering is gone. Any other devotees want to share or ask? Yes, Puna Mataji, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Text 38. Hare Krishna, everyone. Girim charupya garude hastene kena lilaya aroha prayaya vanthim sura suragaram varta. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord very easily lifted the mountain with one hand and placed it on the back of Garuda. Then he too got on the back of Garuda and went to the ocean of milk, surrounded by the demigods and demons. Purport. Here is the proof of omnipotence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is above everyone. There are two classes of living entities, the demon and the demigods, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is above them both. The demons believe in the chance theory of creation, whereas the demigods believe in the creation by the hand of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The omnipotence of the Supreme Lord is proved here, for simply with one hand he lifted Mandara mountain. The demigods and the demons placed them on the back of Garuda and brought them to the ocean of milk. Now the demigods and the devotees would immediately accept this incident, knowing that the Lord can lift anything, however heavy it might be. But although demons were also carried along with the demigods, demons, upon hearing of this incident, would say that it is mythological. But if God is all-powerful, why would it be difficult for him to lift a mountain, since he is floating innumerable planets with any hundreds and thousands of Mandara mountains? Why can't he lift one of them with his hand? This is not mythology, but the difference between believers and the faithless is the devotee accept the incident mentioned in the Vedic literature to be true, whereas the demons simply argue the label all these historical incident mythology. Demons would prefer to explain that everything happening in the cosmic manifestation takes place by chance, but demigods or devotee never consider anything to be chance. Sorry, rather they know that everything is an arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the difference between the demigod and the demons. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In this purport, Prabhupada has explained the difference between the devotee and the non-devotee, or the devatas and demons. So whatever power or the omnipotency God shows, devotee or the demigods will just accept it, and they will not take it as a chance, but it's the opportunity, or they accept, and they are serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But for the demons or the non-devotees, they will not be agreeing with the historical incident, or anything that is spiritual from the omnipotence Supreme Personality, but they would rather take it as a chance. But everything, whatever everybody believes, it's just everything is under the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is all his arrangement. That is all my understanding, Prabhuji. Please enlighten.
Thank you so much, Puna Mataji, for reading and sharing this. This is really very, very powerful verse. If we contrast this to text number 33. In text number 33, what we read, all the demigods, all the demons headed by their kings, Indra and Bali, etc., together, they were crying. Oh, like, a big weightlifter, they may lift 500 pounds or 1,000 pounds. I don't know what's the maximum. But how long they lift for like few seconds and boom, and they'll be. But Lord, the adjective used here is very easily lifted. The whole mountain, all the demigods, all the demons, and carried on the back of Garuda. So imagine the potency of Garuda as well. And happily move them. Done. So this shows the unlimited strength of the Lord. It's sad to see that many places in the world people consider these as mythological stories or fairy tales. But this is not fairy tales. This is our history. This is the real. We're not talking about any like Harry Potter or Spider-Man stories here. And what's the difference between divine and demoniac? Dvau bhutau sargalokesmin deva asura evacha Vishnu bhakta smrita deva viparita tava asurya. Those who remember Krishna or Lord Vishnu, or those who have faith in him, are divine or demigods. But those who think, no, this is too much. How can, if 1,000 people can't lift it, how can then one person just lift with one hand? This is too much. Must be a story cooked up by the author. So they will not have faith. But if one sees with even how are these earth and the moon moving, how are all these balls, Prakrite Sutre Maniganaiva, what's that verse? Dhananjaya Vai Sarvamidam Frutam Sutre Maniganaiva. In Bhagavad Gita, also chapter 7, Krishna says this verse, that I am running all these, like the pearls are strung upon the thread. We don't see the thread, we see the pearls. But if the thread is not there, will the pearls hold together? No. Similarly, if Krishna's hand is not there behind all these earth, all these planets, then they will not be together. Have we heard Earth and Mars colliding, or Jupiter and Saturn colliding? Oh, this star colliding with Sun? No. Very, very definite and finite arrangement, speed, rotation, revolution. So much precision is there in the universe. That means there is an expert creator behind it. It's not by chance. It's not by bang. By chance or by bang, construction or constructive things don't happen. Only destruction happens. By chance, a beautiful watch will not appear from by a bang. By bang, only destruction happens. So this is the hand of the Supreme Lord, omnipotence, omnipresent, and so he lifted everyone and carried them on Garuda's back. Let's see the last verse of this chapter. Venkateshwari Mataji has raised her hand, so please, Mataji, you can read the next verse. You want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all the assembled devotees. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Text 39. Avaropya giri skandhat suparnah patatam varaha yayau jalanta utsrujya harina savisarjitaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charna Ravinda Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, Garuda, the chief of birds, unloaded Mandara mountain from his shoulder and brought it near the water. Then he was asked by the Lord to leave that place, and he left. Purport. Garuda was asked by the Lord to leave that place because the snake Vasuki, who was to be used as the rope for churning, could not go there in the presence of Garuda. Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, is not a vegetarian. He eats big snakes. Vasuki, being a great snake, would be natural food for Garuda, the chief of birds. Lord Vishnu therefore asked Garuda to leave so that Vasuki could be brought to churn the ocean with Mandara mountain, which was to be used as the churning rod. These are the wonderful arrangements of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nothing takes place by accident. Carrying Mandara mountain on the back of a bird, putting it in its right position might be difficult for anyone, whether demigod or demon. But for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is possible, as shown by this pastime. The Lord had no difficulty lifting the mountain with one hand, and Garuda, his carrier, carried all the demons and demigods together by the grace of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is known as Yogeshwara, the master of all mystic power, because of his omnipotence. If he likes, he can make anything lighter than cotton or heavier than the universe. Those who do not believe in the activities of the Lord cannot explain how things happen. Using words like accident, they take shelter of ideas that are unbelievable. Nothing is accidental. Everything is done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the Lord Himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Whatever actions and reactions occur within the cosmic manifestation all take place under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, because the demons do not understand the potency of the Lord, when wonderful things are done, the demons think that they are accidental. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 8th canto, 6th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled The Demigods and Demons Declare a Truce. Haribol. Over to you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
You want to share what you realized from this?
Lord's pastimes are also wonderful, how wonderfully he makes arrangements of each of the steps. So here, Garuda, he being the carrier, Lord comes in Garuda carrying the Mandara mountain, but immediately, because Vasuki has to be will be serving as the churning rod, he asks Garuda to leave, and so that's the arrangement. And again, this emphasizes that nothing in this material world or any in this world is by accident. Everything is occurring by the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the overseer of whatever happens in this world. So nothing is by chance. So that is the takeaway from this. Prabhuji, please elaborate. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Ji. So very nicely you mentioned the important lessons. It just reminds me of a story of which we have heard probably multiple times, but since the context is there, I'll just share for my purification. Narad Muni visited a devotee who was a little proud of his devotion. Oh, I'm great, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, this mantra, this yagya. And he was sure, hey, after this life, I'm going to back home, back to Godhead. So Narad Muni, was passing by, and then he did his pranams and everything, and then Narad Muni was about to go. And he said, "Well, I'm quite sure," this devotee said to Narad Muni, "that after this life, I'm coming back home, back to Godhead. But when you meet Lord Vishnu, can you just ask, just to double check?" Said, "Okay." And then he was externally doing a show of his devotion, but internally didn't have that faith and conviction in the Lord. On the other hand, there was a cobbler, mochi, right? In Hindi, we say mochi, one who repairs shoes or chappal. Not a great profession, right? Not a very high class kind of. So he was very humble. He was very busy in his work, very humble, and was thinking, I don't think I'm so busy in this material life. Whole day I'm just busy in just repairing shoes, making shoes and chappals whole day. But from heart, he was very pure. And whenever he used to get some time, he would, chant the holy names. He would do some worship to the best of his abilities. But he was very, very humble devotee. Externally, he was not able to do much because of his circumstances. So Narad Muni met him and then said, "Narad Muni, please guide me, please help me, please save me. I'm so fallen. I'm just so busy in this material life. I hardly get to chant the holy name. I hardly get to serve. If you see, Lord, can you please ask if there is any hope for a person like me? Is there any way I can, ever in my millions of lifetimes get a chance to receive the mercy of Lord?" He says, "Okay, I will ask." Okay. And then Narad Muni goes. Narad Muni goes and then approaches Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu, who knows the heart of everyone, knows why Narad Muni has come. But Narad Muni still reveals that these two people were knowing what will happen to them. So he said, "Tell that the cobbler will come back after this lifetime, after he completes this life, and that so-called devotee will take millions of lifetimes before he comes back home, back to Godhead." Narad Muni was also a little confused. "Hey, Lord, are you sure? Or did you mix them? Did you switch their decisions?" He said, "No, I'm sure." And then he comes back and then tells to this devotee that, and yes, and then the Lord Vishnu tells that they will ask you, what was the Lord doing in Vaikuntha? And then you tell them that the Lord was passing elephant through the eye of a needle. Needle, small needle, you may have put, or I used to help my mother and grandmother. They'll say, "Okay, can you put the thread in the eye of the needle?" Because my grandmother could not do that because of her eyesight. She would ask, "Can you put that?" So I remember that, and now it's echoing in my mind. So can we can put a small thread from the eye of a needle, the needle's eye, and to put the thread. But The Lord said that tell that I was putting the elephant, the big elephant, from the eye of a needle. Okay, so as you say, my Lord, he goes down and then approaches a devotee, and then the devotee, so-called devotee, asks that what will happen. Said that you will go maybe after millions of lifetimes, maybe. Said what? Look at, I'm doing this yajna, I'm doing this tapa, I'm doing this charity, I'm doing this mantra tantra. How can that be possible? That is not possible. And maybe you didn't even see Lord. Maybe you're just cooking this up. If you saw Lord, tell me what was he doing? And Narad Muni said he was passing elephant through the eye of a needle. He said, look at you. I told you that you didn't see. How can that such a big elephant? Are you crazy? How can the eye of the needle is like 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters? Elephant is like, very, very big, thousands of times bigger than the eye of the needle. How can the elephant pass through the eye of the needle? It's impossible. It's okay. Then he moved to the cobbler. And Cobbler was very humble, with great gratitude. He greeted Narad Muni, and then Narad Muni told him that the Lord said that you will come after this lifetime. And he was in ecstasy, in tears, that I am so fallen. Lord is so merciful. I don't have any good qualities. I don't deserve. But Lord look at his mercy, look at his greatness. And Narad Muni, by the way, what was he doing? He said that he was passing elephant through the eye of a needle. And then he started laughing in great ecstasy. Look at my Lord. Look at his activities. His activities is transcendental. Janma karma cha me divyam. He can do anything. He's omnipotent. His Leela has no bound. And Narad Muni said, how can an elephant go through the eye of a needle? He said, what's the big deal in that? The banyan tree is hundreds of feet long. How big is the seed? Very small. So if he can fit such a big tree in a small seed, right? Who fit that? Lord only. So what's the big thing for him to do anything? All these planets are not just floating by some force, or even if that force or this energy, that energy, who is the energetic behind all that? It's Kṛṣṇa. So devotees have faith in this process. And non-devotees don't believe it. For them it is fairy tale or some hypothetical situation or something. And the other lesson in this, which one time His Grace Gauranga Prabhu was mentioning, Garuda was asked by the Lord to leave that place because the snake Vasuki, who was to be used as the rope for churning, could go there in the presence of, could not go there. So sometimes the Lord or the Guru may tell, hey, now you take the back seat. Now this devotee will take the front seat. So only one who is non-envious will gratefully accept it. Why are you all telling Vasuki to be in the hero now? Why are you telling me to go back? Garuda didn't complain that. It's a very important lesson. In Rama Leela, Hanuman had a very important role. He was to help Lord Ram. So as Grace Gauranga Prabhu was mentioning, but what was his role in Mahabharata? Sitting on the top of chariot and doing war cries on Arjuna's chariot? Not a very significant role. But in this Leela, in Mahabharata, Lord wanted Arjuna to take the main service. So when the Lord has a plan, when senior Vaishnavas have a plan, when Guru and Sadhu and the Supreme Lord have a plan, we should just follow that plan. Not by saying why are you giving him more mercy? What wrong I have done? It's not that Garuda had done anything wrong. For every situation, the Lord knows better. The Guru knows better. So His going to give a very nice lesson on that. So I really, it just came to my memory and I thought to share that. So one who is non-envious, one who is humble, will gratefully accept it. And that's how we should aspire to be. That if the Lord wants us to be like Hanuman or to be like a ant, we will try our best. Without envy, with humility. Any other comments or questions in this particular text? No one? Anyone wants to ask or tell anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Here it's mentioned that Garuda is the only non-vegetarian devotee. So sometime back, my son Srihari was asking this, Amma, why is Garuda non-vegetarian? so any points that I can give to the kids?
Well, he is in his natural, it's his natural position. It's the Lord's plan. That's how the Lord has designed the body of Garuda. So
one more point, like when it relates to the kids now are in mostly at home and doing virtual classes and all. So they their interaction with other kids is limited. But once the schools reopen and everything is back to normal, they interact with other kids. They would be seeing all the other kids doing some activities and or having different food preference. So this has always been my concern. Like now they know we are vegetarians because we eat only what can be offered to Krishna, and I'm glad that they are following it very well. Like they know, but this is one of my concern. Like how to make them. Like they should not be judgmental too that others are eating, so they are less. But then. Yeah, so how to make them understand that this is what we are doing, and so we should be firm in that, and then what they are doing is because of them, and they are not fallen or small because of that, just because of this one habit or trait. Yeah.
Nandini Mataji wants to answer this, please.
So, Dandavat Pranam, that's a very sincere question. And Prabhupada was asked this question few times in room conversations and morning walks. So Prabhupada once answered that because he's so powerful, he can even dry up the ocean in one sip, Garuda, and that's his duty if needed. He can move the Mandara mountains. So it's Prabhupada answered that way, that he's a non-vegetarian. The second time he answered that the snakes and the serpents, Garuda eats them. And unfortunately, the species of snakes and serpents are so difficult for them to get liberation, to get rid of envy and to proceed to the next life, the next species of life. We say 84 crores of lives. So it's very important that somebody takes that mercy and kills the serpents. And third time, Prabhupada said that we are prashadarians. It doesn't matter if you're in species of, like Shubhavilas Govind Prabhu said, if you're in species of Garuda, then yes, you can eat the non-veg. But if you are in the species of human being, the body is not designed to digest meat at all. So what's the use of having rotten meat? And if you ever wanted to show your kids, there are a couple of movies out there, and even Vaisheshika Prabhu's group is putting videos together called Bhakti Community. And it really very well explains, even higher taste, if you read in the beginning introduction, Prabhupada, there's Mukunda Maharaj Goswami talks about why vegetarian diet. And I used to read this book with my daughter so that she would actually appreciate and make her sure that she comments. I hope that answers. Hare Krishna, Dandavats.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, I will refer to those resources. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
And one more suggestion that now you are in India, I believe, and in India there is a lot of good association. So try to give them the like association, like other devotee kids, other devotee community, as far as possible, so that they don't feel that they are the odd one out and rest 100 are doing one thing and they are doing one thing. So if they see more devotee kids following similar lifestyles, it does make a meaningful impact. So now, especially when this is Corona time, things totally are going in a detour path, but hopefully things will get back to normal soon. And association is very, very powerful.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I'm trying to connect with the local temple group and the kids classes that's happening. So they're attending that. So, but we have not been able to go to the temple yet. So hopefully we can attend the program soon. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Any other comments, questions, additions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have a question. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining his opulences to the Arjuna, and in that he's saying that Meru Shikharina Aham Sarparnamasmi Vasuki and Vaina Yatascham Pakshinam. So he's saying that among the mountain I am Meru, among the Sarpana I am Vasuki, and among the birds I am Garuda. So how to understand this Samudra Manthana pastime through this angle, Prabhu? Thank you.
So Krishna, basically these are like the best amongst everything. Like amongst the serpents, Vasuki is one of the topmost. Amongst the weapons, Thunderbolt is a very powerful. Amongst the mountains, the Himalayas, etc. Amongst the cows, Surabhi is the topmost. So it's basically, the point here is that Krishna is the best amongst the best of every type, whether it is animate or inanimate, tree or mountain or weapon or cow or snake or bird or beast. That's the point to understand. So that whenever we see Krishna's Virat Rupa or energies, we can try to remember Krishna. So if there is now a link between the two snakes, or link between this verse of chapter 10 and Samudra Manthan, that we can ask His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, who is going to speak on Samudra Manthan on Sunday. I don't know. If anyone else knows, please enlighten.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Why Lord Krishna chose Vasuki? He could have chosen some other snake, probably yes, but he chose Vasuki. He's unlimited. There are millions of snakes. He could have chosen any snake, but this time he chose Vasuki. Could he have chosen some other mountain? Like the generally that happened at Trikuta. Why he didn't choose Trikuta mountain? Why he chose Mandara mountain? Krishna is Swarat. He's a big Swarat. He is free to choose. So, but yeah, we can certainly ask, because Gauranga Darshan Prabhu is a great scholar and he's going to speak on this topic of Samudra Manthan. Okay, anything else before we end today's discussion? Okay, so it's Monday. Chapter 6 is complete. Tomorrow we'll do a quick summary. Please read the translations as well. And then we'll start the next chapter, and maybe later this week on Thursday or Friday, we can have the quiz of chapter 5 and chapter 6. So tomorrow we'll start chapter 7. Grantha Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Samudra Manthan Lila ki jai. Bhagavad ki jai. Pura Bhaktavind ki jai. Yascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.